jail. Everyone falling like domino. Yeah, I've been killing this. Yeah, I've been hard in the paint, not a single assist. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been with this. Yeah, I've been killing this. Yeah, I've been hard in the paint, not a single assist. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been with this. Yeah, I've been killing that, killing that. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been killing that, flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been killing that. Yeah, I've been hard in the paint, not a single assist. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist, flicking that, killing that, flicking that wrist. Clockwise, counterclockwise.
Yeah. 83? I don't think they have. 82,
Just money counters and kitchenware. Condo with a in there. We got rich in there. Been a trophy since Hawaiian Sophie. Curry over Kobe. We shoot it. Splash Brothers with the add in soap. Good fellas to my Aureliotis. Shades of blue, I admit you. Let the sky fall, let it rain on you. Yeah, I've been killing it. Yeah, I've been hard in the paint, not a single assist. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been with this. Yeah, I've been killing it. Yeah, I've been hard in the paint, not a single assist. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been with this. Yeah, I've been killing that, killing that. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been killing that, flicking that, killing that, flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been killing that. Yeah, I've been hard in the paint, not a single assist. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist, flicking that, killing that, flicking that wrist.
Show me what you like. Hey, I put money, I can match it for ya. I'm in this all white fit, looking like a brick and all them zippers on a jacket on ya. He got a thing for Latin. He wanna hear a little Spanish? I told him it ain't practice it. I'm about to fill you up with status. Rock up with the click and I ain't looking like the side in this. I'm the opposite cause I'm the main event and bossing in it. As the time been ticking, I've been out here playing my position. I'm about to get it now. Ain't no one about to block the hit. Cause someday, someone tell me I'm somewhere doing alright. Somewhere, somebody that one day will be the love of my life, but not tonight though. Hey, I'm only here for a minute. Bet you want a girl to keep it independent, and I know you gotta like a girl that's this appealing. Get you caught up in the moment, then I'll get you in your feelings. Tell your boys that you gon' meet them later on. Both of us are so taxi, leave the meter on. First time you out in Cali, never tried no this strong, so you gon' have some stories to tell when you take it back home and tell them one time, so we always showed you what it's like. Leave you sleepy like the call the umpire. Get you out and get you rolling, get you gotta go. I got a flight up in the morning on someday, someone tell me I'm somewhere doing alright. Somewhere, somebody that someone, somebody that one day will be the love of my life, love of
are now on the clock. The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock.
I don't have a pick, nigga, till like the 2020. What happened?
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Hello? Oh, I'm just telling you what play, that's what. When do I draft? I draft 24th. I'll be back like in 10 minutes.
If I'm not mistaken, home team made it. 2 3s on my feet, then I pump fake. Baby girl, grab the crew. Kiss it.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Hottest on the planet, get the place lit up. Fly, got expensive taste, sight into. We ain't on the same team. Cheer up. Bunch that make sit up. I ain't come to blend in, boy, I stand out. Money talks, you just popping off at the mouth. If I'm the topic, then the conversation heated. Right trim, getting booked up in every city. Splash out with cash, had the spaz on the waiter. She messed up my order 3 times in a row. I'm good on gas, I just filled up my tank. Now let's fill up her head and let's see if she goes. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof.
Let's go to Adam Schefter now. He's got more to say about the Redskins' latest pick.
There was some concern that he may not be a 3-down linebacker in the NFL. He showed toughness and instinct in defending the run, but was pulled on a lot of obvious pass plays back in college. Well, according to Matt Miller's combine report, he looked like one of the faster linebackers in the pass drop and hip rotation drills. Enough so to move up in the rankings and to get drafted earlier than a lot of experts thought he would. We'll see if the team pulls him out in 3rd and long situations, but I think he has the tools to become a 3-down linebacker eventually.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Then we flood it out. We just threw the money up, we ain't even count. Shake it, shake it, shake it. It in my speeder, girl, I'm nothing, messing up my speech. I'm $1 million player, baby, nothing's at my reach. I'm $1 million, like I hit the lottery. Splash her with cash, had the spaz on the waitress. She messed up my order 3 times in a row. I'm good on gas, I just filled up my tank. Now let's fill up her head and let's see if she goes. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire.
The Rams are now on the clock.
We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire.
The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
Put away your inhibitions. Let the beast in you just get loose. We all young, wild, and different. We can all get hit from a look. I know you're terrified by what the future lies, but there's no.
The Packers made their selection. For more about him, let's go to Adam Schefter.
He's one of the few receivers in college that no matter what sort of coverage you threw at him, he always came away with the ball. A great example is one of his impressive touchdown catches that has been on highlight reels ever since. It was late in the game, and the defense knew who the quarterback was going to target. He was surrounded by 3 defenders when his quarterback put the ball in the air. And even though he was completely swamped, somehow he managed to pluck the ball right over the defenders' heads. He isn't the biggest receiver, but he has the ability to stretch and make the play, essentially making him a larger and taller target and a real threat in the red zone. I think this team got a possible difference maker at receiver.
Let's go to Adam Schefter now, who's got more to say about the Lions' latest pick.
Like football, rugby's a sport that's played with guys of all shapes and sizes. In his case, he was one of the big guys pushing and pulling blocks in the center of the pitch. He was playing rugby for a university in Australia before he was recruited to transfer and play football for 2 seasons here in America. His first year was spent adjusting to the game, getting used to the different rules and how to play his position properly. The guy even had to adjust how he tackled now that he had to wear pads and a helmet. But his second year is really where we started to see what he could potentially do. He's a physical player at the line of scrimmage. The team was able to pick up a good addition to its line with a bit of an interesting history.
Nobody gang, we on the town. Hey, never come down, I never come down. Lose it. I might lose it. I might lose it. I might lose it. Lose it. I might lose it. I might lose it. I might lose it.
The Texans are now on the clock. Texans have just picked up Barkley. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
He stole a lot of thunder from one of the better receiver prospects at the All-Star game, and it helped him get noticed by scouts around the league. He made one of the biggest studs in college disappear from the game, netting 0 catches and only a few targets. He played lockdown defense all day, removing his assignment from the play almost every time. And whenever a pass was thrown to the receiver, he was the first player to have a hand on the ball. The coaches left him on an island on his own, and he was more than capable in single coverage. The team is fortunate to have picked him up before anyone else could, and I'm sure he can have an immediate impact on their secondary.
The Texans are now on the clock. The Houston Oilers are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Oh, no.
The Jaguars
That's
are
my
now on
mother,
the clock.
too. I never know. There are people
The
in.
City Diablos are now on the clock.
Make no difference.
Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
Well, there isn't much to say other than this kid was born to run. He's the spitting image of his father, a nationally ranked sprinter in several major events, and highly recruited by every major college. However, unlike his dad, he chose to pursue a career in football, and so far that decision is paying off. He may not be gold medal fast, but he has the speed and quickness to cause fits for the opposing team. He's the type of player you like to see out in the open field where he can make moves a lot of other players can't. The coaches are going to love having his speed at their disposal.
The Ravens are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Houston Oilers are now on the clock. All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
He took an early exit at the combine after suffering what looked like a painful ankle sprain during the vertical jump. Scouts were eager to see what he could do this offseason, but they were left disappointed when he hobbled off the field. I've been told that he's 100% ready to go for rookie minicamp, and now he can breathe a sigh of relief that he's finally been picked.
The Eagles are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock. The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock.
Hey, you never had your head this way. Are you still living in that place? They told me you've been doing okay, okay. In another world where you and me, we show our hearts yet entirely. Deliver me from reality and take me to my fantasy. Tell me
Schefter has more to say about the Diablo's spicy pick.
He's a tremendous athlete with great speed, a lethal combination when you're able to get the ball in his hands. For evidence of just how dangerous he can be, all you need to know is he set a team record this season for receiving yards, a legitimate threat to score every time he touches the ball. Several GMs I spoke with felt he was the missing piece that could take their offense to the next level. I'm sure his new offensive coordinator feels like a kid on Christmas morning.
Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
The importance of a lockdown pass defender cannot be emphasized enough, and that's exactly what every GM I talked to described him as. His ability to play physical and to outwork his opposition off the line have also been areas of high praise on his journey to the draft. This skill set could be seen in numerous games this year where he completely shut down some of this draft's top-rated wide receivers. When you're tasked with neutralizing an opponent's number one wideout each week, there's a great deal of responsibility to ensure you're not just physically ready, but also mentally ready. This is another important trait the GMs I spoke with mentioned to me that made them so excited about this guy. The hope is that he will quickly learn the playbook, get some solid reps in the preseason, and come week one, be ready to play.
It's in my bones, it's in my soul. You're never gonna take that from me.
The Bengals are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock.
Cause we've been putting in the hours. We only taking what was ours. So you better not be the one that got us.
The Lions are now on the clock.
Cause we gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
We gon' blow your mind. Okay, whoa. We been
The Austin Armadillos are now on the clock.
from the go. Hit my blow. You know we been down for too long to give up. Can't go. I need all pesos. Want it all. Case closed. I go wild to the wild. Can't hold to the ball. Game over. These boys can't hold me. You boys can't hold us. I told you. Better not be the one to doubt us. Cause we been putting in the hours.
The Texans are now on the clock.
We only taking what was ours. cause I was just living. Walked in that building, we was just building, taking our time. We was just yielding, we was just chilling away from these haters. Know they be watching like a theater. Yeah. Plotting these niggas that we need later. They gon' degrade us, it won't delay us. This is what made us. We got old made probably roll. Probably just leave. I see you later. I salute Wake. Cop a new crib. Got some new neighbors. You get this big, they gon' want favors.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Hope the Lord save us. Wait from these haters. Hope the Lord save us. Wait from these snakes. Wait from these fakes. Wait, I need breaks. Wait, I need kick.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
Be the one to doubt us. Cause we've been putting in the mouth. We only taking what was ours.
The Panthers selection is Gordon.
A high-flying, hard-hitting defensive back, he was the subject of much criticism earlier this year after being unable to put together consistent performances week to week. Consistency doesn't even do the roller coaster of emotions he went through justice. A better description may have been puzzling. After turning in an exceptional performance in week 1 with 2 picks, he was downright terrible in week 2, being burned for 3 touchdowns. Week 3 saw him force a fumble and return it for a touchdown, and then week 4 saw him get beat on plays that led to critical scores and a close loss. The pendulum continued to swing both ways throughout the entire year, prompting one scout I spoke with to nickname him the Enigma. This pick could have a huge upside, providing this coaching staff has the patience for him to develop into a much more consistent player.
Now that the Texans have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more.
The key concern I've been hearing from several GMs is that he simply isn't in good enough physical shape to see significant action early in the season. Even with a full off-season of NFL conditioning, the feeling is that he will not be able to stay on the field every down and maintain that high level of play coaches want out of their guys. The game never slows down at this level. He's going to have to get in better shape if he wants to be an every down player. This is a kid who may eventually make an impact in the league, but it may take an entire year to get his body into the kind of shape needed to make an impact at this level.
I'm sick of waiting for you to come into my need.
Now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
There isn't a strict dress code on a player's pro day like there is at the combine. However, with big guys like him, maybe there should be. After skipping combine activities, he came to his school's pro day looking a little larger than normal. When he ran the 40 and other drills, he decided to remove his shirt. And not only did he turn in a slower time, but he also looked a little bit out of shape. Despite the lack of conditioning, the team liked him enough to pick him here. We'll see how much better he can be once he's back in playing shape.
Yo, Jay.
The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Pretty good stuff this shit.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh, they filmed it? Alright, then fuck it. Alright, man.
Music feels like
It's all good. Alright, man.
Alright.
Alright. No, ¿y qué es lo que es? Nigga to the safety to the linebacker. Why you were doing that?
The Bears are now on the clock. Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
His college career came to an abrupt end this year when he was suspended from the team. I spoke with the school's athletic director, and he told me it was due to an academic violation. He was on probation and close to failing several courses before the decision was made between the director and his coach. He was able to turn his grades around, but his draft stock took a hit when the news broke. Scouts weren't too bothered by his academic issues, but his lack of playing time made it harder to evaluate him with the rest of his class. And now that he's drafted, I don't think the team is too concerned with his grades either.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock.
I drafted a cornerback right now.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Oh, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock. That's just the time we're gonna meet up. We still time we're going. I'm getting picked up.
The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock. Diablo's pick is in. Let's go to Adam with more on Jacobs.
His team had one of the best rushing defenses in college this season, and he's probably...
You should check the pockets before you throw them in the washing machine.
Teams eventually abandoned the run game altogether after the average only
It's everybody's job.
per carry in the first half. Among linebackers on the team, he
No, you should always double check.
penetrating the opposing team's offensive line. Every tailback that lined up against him seemed to keep one eye on the handoff and the other searching for him. And usually when they found him, it was too late to react. He's one of the best tacklers to come out in years.
You should always check the pockets, though, nigga, because what happens if she leaves, like, a pen in her pocket? Nigga, but I'm saying, though, imagine what happened if, she had a pen or something in her pocket. That she'll blow up in your washing machine, fuck up all your clothes. Exactly, nigga. Yesterday, I think. 2 days ago.
The Rams are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Packers.
I dropped it right now.
Our very own Adam Schefter has more to
I don't even know. Ain't nothing in draft.
About him until he was asked to fill in at the All-Star game for an injured player. He came to the first practice, and from that moment on, he was the center of attention. He played lights out and looked to handle himself really well, matched up against top-tier talent. He stole the show and at the All-Star game, shooting up draft boards around
For what?
the league. The coach is going to love having a guy like him on the team, and I can't wait to see what he does when the season rolls around.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Red Dragons' newest player?
Every year, a handful of prospects turn down their All-Star Game invitations, so a second round of invites are always sent out. He's fortunate to have been one of those last-minute additions this year, and he didn't take the opportunity for granted. He was the scouts fell in love with all through practices and game day. His performance was impressive enough in the game to slowly creep up the draft boards, and he's being taken here, which is much sooner than most predicted.
All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
Mid-season struggles look to have doomed his draft prospects as he put up lackluster numbers in several consecutive games. As a result of his consistent poor play, several scouts decided not to show up for his pro day. When word of this reached draft experts like Matt Miller, he began free-falling in several influential mock drafts. Scouts that decided to attend his pro day were treated to a show of sheer athleticism. They saw a player that looked like he had a chip on his shoulder, one scout even telling me that seeing the negative media attention may have been the wake-up call he needed to take his game to the next level. He now will have the opportunity to prove his doubters wrong in the NFL. Part of me wonders whether or not he'll play with the same passion and intensity once the doubters are silenced.
I got one in each round, right? 5, 6, 7, yeah.
The Texans are now on the clock.
Rob's 80, 83. You don't pick till 93. But it's going fast though. Better run now, nigga. Start moving. I'll waste my whole clock. How many? I got a minute, right? No, I should have the whole clock.
The Houston Oilers are now on the clock. Are now on the clock.